Hi, welcome to day 24 of our 30-day yoga journey inwards. Today we open. We're going to open through the chest and through the hips. We hold a lot of emotion in our hips, so we're going to try and open and create space to allow these emotions to release. Not only that, but we're also opening up and creating space for anything new that wants to come into our lives, right? Or anything new we want to invite into our lives. As always, as we come through this flow, I do recommend having a block handy. You may or may not use it, totally up to you, but if you can have it handy there, it can help support you on your journey. So we're going to begin today's flow by coming down onto our backs. So grounding the feet down into the mat, and we're just going to gently roll down the spine vertebrae by vertebrae. Grounding down into those feet, arms coming alongside the body, and we're going to just begin by tilting the hips upwards and lifting the hips off the mat. Exhale, lower down. As you inhale, rolling up, lifting those hips, and exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, holding here, and just breathing into it. Opening up through that front body area here. And as you hold, you might begin to feel this into the legs, into the bottoms. Just breathing into that, opening up the space. And on your next exhale, lower down. Bring those knees in towards the chest. And you can either take your hands behind your knees and begin to rock up and down the spine, or you can roll to one side to come up. If you are rocking, just take a few rocks before coming up and over onto hands and knees. So we're going to set ourselves up here in tabletop position. So hands under the knees, under the shoulders, knees under the hips. And we're going to just come through some cat-cow. So on an inhale, drop the belly, lift the chest, lift the hips, and exhale round through the spine. Inhale, open. Exhale, rounding away. Inhale, looking forward, open through the chest, and exhale, rounding through the spine. Good. Coming back to a neutral spine and extending the right leg back, tucking the toes. On your next inhale, lift the leg. Extend the left arm and lifting up. Exhale, lower the hand and the foot to the mat. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. On your next inhale, we're going to lift and hold. Then sweeping that left hand back alongside the body and bending that right knee. Now, if here feels like enough for you, you can just take this action of sending that left hand back towards the foot. Otherwise, if you want to go a little deeper, you might take the foot with the hand. Open up through that front body. Breathing here. Now we're not super warm yet, so just listen to your body and only go to the extension that feels good for you. Releasing the foot and the hand. Now from here we're going to bring that left hand back down to the mat, and we're going to extend that right leg long again. And from here we're going to walk those left toes to the long side of the mat. Ground down into that left hand. Open up the right hand. So that right foot is still extended, coming out from the hip. Our left hand is grounded down into the mat with our right hand reaching up and overhead. Ground that right foot down into the mat here. And we're going to inhale, lift up, coming into gate pose. Extend that right hand down the right leg And reach that left arm overhead. Breathe in here into that left side of the body. Inhale, lift up. And exhale, circle that left hand down to the mat. Breathe in here. Right hand comes down to the mat, bringing that left foot back onto the mat, and right knee comes down. Extend the left leg out long, lifting it up from the hip. Right arm comes out in front of you, lifting it up. Now we're going to simply lower the hand, lower the foot, lifting up. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. One more time. And then holding here. And again, taking that right hand and sweeping it down alongside the body. Now holding here if here feels good. If you want to take it a little deeper, you might bend that left knee. Taking that action of sending the fingers towards the foot. If you want to come deeper still, you might clasp that hand around the foot, open up through the front body. Breathe in here. Then releasing the foot, taking those fingers long, grounding down into that right hand, bringing it back to the mat, and taking those right toes to the long side of the mat and open up through the left arm. So that left leg is coming out from the hip, left arm reaches up. And we're not sinking down into that right shoulder, but we're lifting up, out and away. Breathe in here. Then left foot comes to the mat, grounding down into that foot. And we're going to lift up through gate pose. Left hand comes down the left leg. Right arm reaches overhead, opening through that right side of the body. See if you can open up a little more. Can you find space here? Then right hand comes down to the mat. Left hand comes down. Right foot back to the mat. Left knee comes down. Walking the hands forward a handprint, tucking the toes and sending the hips up towards the sky for your first downward dog. Now as always in downward dog, move a little. Find what feels good for you here. And then when you're ready, grounding down into the feet. On your next inhale, we're going to roll forward as if coming through a cat, coming to plank position. Exhale, bend the knees, send the hips up and back, downward dog. Inhale, roll forward, come through your plank. Exhale, send the hips up and away. Moving with your breath here. Meeting in downward dog. Then bend the knees, look between the hands and step forward. Find your half lift. Create a long spine with a long line with the spine. Exhale, fold over the legs. Ground down into the feet. Reaching those arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Breathe in here. As you inhale, reach those arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward with the long spine. Find your half lift on an inhale. Then plant the hands and step back through plank. Now options here. You can always come onto your knees. Doing whatever feels good for you. Then we're going to lower down halfway in Chaturanga. Push through to open up the chest for Cobra. And exhale back to down dog. If you bend your knees ever so slightly, can you open up through that front body a little bit more? Create a long line with the spine. Inhale, lifts the right leg. Exhale, bringing the knee in towards the chest and then stepping that foot forward. Grounding down through that left knee. Inhale, lifts you up. Exhale, bend at the elbows, really open through that chest here. Inhale, lift. Exhale, bend and open. Now sweeping those hands behind the back, clasping the fingers, can you open up a little bit more? We're opening through that full front body here. That left hip is sinking down into the mat. Opening through the hips, open through the chest. Can you open through the throat a little bit if you look up towards the ceiling? Releasing the hands, sending them back down to the mat. Tucking those back toes, stepping that right foot back. Come through your plank, flow through your vinyasa. Meeting in downward dog. Inhale, lifts the left leg. Exhale, knee towards chest. Then step that foot forward. Lower that back knee. Lifting up, reaching the arms overhead. Exhale, bend and open. Inhale, reach. Exhale, open. Sweeping those hands behind you, clasping the other pinky on the top, and then open through the front body here. Can you feel it into that right hip? Open through the front body, open through the chest, open through the neck. Releasing the hands and bringing them back down to the mat. Tucking those back toes. Step back through your plank. Come through your vinyasa. Meeting in downward dog. Bend the knees, look between the hands and step forward. Find your half lift. Exhale, fold over the legs. Ground down into the feet. Reaching those arms up overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, lift the arms overhead, lift the right knee. Exhale, step back for a high lunge. Arms reach up overhead. Exhale, bend the elbows, open through the chest. Sweep those hands behind you. Clasping at the hands, open up. Breathe here. Release the clasp of the hands. Lower that back heel. Open up for warrior two. Breathe in here. Now taking that left elbow to the left knee. Right arm reaches overhead. Side angle. Circling that right hand down to the mat, coming up onto the toes of that back foot, left arm opens up. Now beginning to walk that left foot in front of you, coming to the pinky toe side of the right foot. Now left foot can stay in line with the front of the hip, or you might walk it back for side plank. Breathing here. Now option to take that left foot and step it behind you. Open up through the front body and wild thing. So we're on those toes of that left foot. We're lifting the hips open through the chest. Exhale, lower the hips to the mat. Reaching that left hand down towards the right foot. Inhale, grounding into that left foot, into the right toes, into the right foot. Open up. Exhale, lower the hips to the mat. Inhale, lift. Now exhale, lower the hips ever so slightly so that you can bring that left hand to the mat. Swinging that left foot round, bringing the knee in towards the chest and stepping it forward to lift up in high lunge. On the opposite side this time. Breathing here. Lower that right foot back. Open up for that warrior two. Breathing in. That left hand comes down to the left elbow, left knee again. Right arm reaches overhead. Now circle that left hand in front of the knee, straightening through that leg, opening up for triangle. Circle that arm down, coming back into your low lunge. Open through the chest. Then step that left foot back to meet the right. Come through your plank, through your vinyasa, to meet in downward dog. Now bend the knees, look between the hands and step forward. Find your half lift, long through the spine. Exhale over the legs. Ground down into the feet, reaching those arms overhead. Exhale, hands to heart center. Now this time as we inhale, we're going to lift the left knee off the mat, left foot off the mat. Exhale, step back for your high lunge. Exhale, bend at the elbows, open through the chest. Sweep those hands behind you, clasping at the hands, open up a little more. Breathe in here. Unclasp the hands, drop that back heel to the mat to open up for warrior two. Right elbow meets right knee, left arm sweeps overhead. Left hand circles down to the mat. Open up through the right arm. Now right foot begins to walk back, coming in line with the hips. Coming onto that pinky toe side of the left foot. Now you can stay here if here feels like enough for you today. Otherwise you might step back into your side plank. If you want to come further today, you might take that right foot, step it behind you, coming onto the pinky toes of that right foot, lifting the hips, opening through the front body for wild thing. Exhale, lower the hips towards the mat. Right arm reaches towards that left foot. Inhale, opens you up. Lifting through the hips. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, open up through that front body. Then this time we're going to lower down slightly through the hips to bring that right hand to the mat, right knee into the chest. Stepping that right foot forward, lifting up through your high lunge. Coming back to where we started. Exhale, dropping that heel, open up for warrior two. Right elbow, right knee. Reaching the left arm over. Now circling that left hand in front of the right leg, straighten through that right leg, lifting that left arm up overhead for triangle pose. Taking the left hand down to the mat, come through your low lunge. Open through the chest. Then step back through plank, come through your vinyasa to meet in downward dog. Bend the knees, look between the hands and come forward onto your knees. Coming up to sit. We're going to come up onto our knees, lifting up, and we're going to open through our front body in camel pose. So taking your hands to your lower back, fingertips are pointing down towards your bottom. Hands are grounding into the back. And we're going to send our hips forward, open through the chest, shoulders down away from the ears, looking up towards the sky in camel. Breathing here. On your next inhale, lifting up and sinking those hips back towards the heels. Taking a pause, taking a moment to breathe here. Lifting back up, and we're going to come back through that camel pose. So options here. You can take your blocks either side of your feet and reach back for your blocks in this round. You can continue where we were, or you can tuck your toes under. And as you send those hips forward, looking up, you might reach your hands back for your heels and allow the body to really open through the front body. Breathing here. Now to come out of this, we're going to bring one hand to the back and then the other and lift up. Coming back down to sit on your heels. Then taking the arms down beside you, and we're just going to sweep them along the body, down beside the feet, and exhale, fold over the legs in child's pose. Just taking a counter pose. Breathing here. And then bringing the hands in under the shoulders to lift you up and come to sit on your bottom. Now from here, we're going to take our left leg, our shin parallel to the short side of the mat, and our right one and place it on top of the left. So our right knee is coming out over our left ankle, our right ankle is over our left knee. Lengthen up, tall through the spine here. Now you may already be feeling this into your hips, and if you are, note that if you want to stay here, you can. If you want to come forward a little, you might take your elbows to your knees and your ankle, holding here. If you'd like to come further still, you might take your fingertips to the mat, walk forward and fold over those legs. Opening up into those hips. Ground down into the fingers, lifting up, walking back. Meeting our friends, and then uncrossing the legs. Now just doing that the opposite way. So right leg comes down first shin, parallel to the short side of the mat. Left one comes over the top. Sitting up tall here and staying here if here feels good. If you want to come deeper, coming to the extent that feels good for your body today. Because we're all different, and this pose is going to look different for everybody, as is every pose, right? You have to work with your body and how it feels on the day. And also because each day is different, the pose may look different for you on each day too. Breathing in and out. Allowing those hips some space and time to just open up. Hands come to the mat, lifting ourselves up, walking back to meet all our friends who are held here. Uncrossing the legs and bringing the feet to the mat. Hands come forward and lowering down through the spine, vertebrae by vertebrae. Coming back to where we began today, so grounding down into the feet. As we inhale, we're going to tilt the hips, lift up through bridge. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, lower. This time we're going to inhale, lift, and we're going to hold here. Exhale, lower down. Bringing the right knee into the chest and extending the left leg long. Taking the right arm out beside you and exhale, taking that right knee over the left leg for a twist. Gaze can be at the roof or out over that right shoulder. And inhale brings you back through center, taking that leg long. Then left knee comes into the chest, left arm reaches out beside you, and exhale, twisting to the right. And the inhale brings you back through center, bringing those knees into the chest one final time and taking any final movements you feel you need here today so that you can feel the most open. And then when you're ready, lowering the feet to the mat, extending the legs out long, arms come down beside you, palms faced up in openness and welcoming. And then just let go of everything. Let go of the breath, let go of your thoughts, and just simply be here in this moment in Shavasana. Beginning to lengthen the inhales and the exhales. Taking some movements through the fingers and the toes. Allow those movements to get bigger through the wrists and the ankles. And taking the arms overhead for a full body stretch before bending the knees and rolling to the right side. just pausing for a moment to find some space for gratitude for something that's happened or going to happen in your day. And then when you're ready, making your way up to sit. Let's open one final time with a big inhale, reaching those arms up overhead, looking up towards the hands, and as you exhale, following the hands with your gaze as you bring them down in front of your heart. Thank you for joining me today for day 24 open. I hope your body is feeling a little more open. I am so excited to be on this journey with you and to see you tomorrow for day 25. Thank you for joining me today. Namaste. As always, you know what to do. Hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this and follow along the rest of our journey. And if you want to see when videos drop, then hit the notification bell. I will see you tomorrow for day 25. Bye for now.